At 3:40 a.m., a Boeing 737 approached Rostov-on-Don in heavy rain and gusting winds. The crew had already been in the air for nearly 6 hours. They had already gone around once. They had already been holding for over an hour. 17 minutes after initiating their second approach, the aircraft pitched up to climb away. 30 seconds later, it was diving almost vertically toward the runway. This is what really happened to Flydubai Flight 981. On March 19, 2016, the flight departed Dubai for Russia. On board were 55 passengers and 7 crew members. The aircraft was a Boeing 737-800, 6 years old, technically serviceable with no known defects. As it approached Rostov, conditions were deteriorating. Strong winds, gusts up to 30 knots, rain, low clouds, reports of wind shear on final approach. At 1:42 local time, during the first landing attempt, the predictive wind shear system issued a warning. The crew executed a wind shear escape maneuver and climbed away safely. Instead of diverting, the crew entered a holding pattern. They had ample fuel, more than typical, due to economic refueling practices in Dubai. For over 1 hour and 30 minutes, the aircraft circled in turbulent night conditions. Another aircraft attempted to land twice and diverted. Inside the cockpit, discussion about diverting continued, but no structured decision was made. Eventually, the crew chose to attempt a second approach. They agreed if they had to go around again, they would divert immediately. At approximately 0340 local time, the aircraft was established on the ILS for runway 22. As the aircraft descended through about 1,000 feet, a strong headwind gust caused the airspeed to increase rapidly. The captain initiated a go-around. This time, there was no wind shear warning. It was a normal go-around, but what happened next would prove critical. During the go-around, maximum thrust was applied, similar to the earlier wind shear escape. The landing gear was retracted, flaps were reduced. With high thrust and configuration changes, the aircraft developed a strong nose-up tendency. To counter this, the captain applied forward pressure on the control column. Investigators later calculated the force required about 50 pounds. Instead of stabilizing at the recommended 15 degrees nose-up pitch, the captain began trimming the aircraft nose down. But he continued pushing forward while trimming. The aircraft's pitch decreased rapidly, from nose up to level to nose down. The aircraft reached a maximum altitude of roughly 3,300 feet. Then it began descending sharply. Pitch angle exceeded 50 degrees nose down. Speed increased to over 340 knots. Cockpit recordings captured the first officer warning the captain repeatedly, but control inputs became erratic, including unusual rudder movements. Investigators determined the captain likely experienced a somographic illusion, a powerful sensory misperception caused by acceleration in low visibility. In darkness and cloud, acceleration can feel like excessive pitch up. The body senses motion, the instruments show reality. If the pilot trusts sensation over instruments, spatial disorientation can take over. That appears to have happened. As the aircraft entered negative G-forces, objects lifted inside the cockpit. Disorientation intensified. The first officer attempted to intervene, but recovery inputs came too late. At 0342 local time, the aircraft impacted the runway at high speed and near vertical angle. It disintegrated instantly. All 62 people on board were killed. The flight recorders showed no technical malfunction. Engines operating normally, flight controls functioning correctly. No evidence of medical incapacitation. No evidence of suicidal intent. The probable cause was loss of spatial orientation by the captain during the go-around, leading to inappropriate nose-down trim inputs and loss of control. Contributing factors included fatigue after a long night flight, high workload in adverse weather, extended holding in turbulence, insufficient crew resource management during the upset. Flydubai Flight 981 was not brought down by windshear, not by mechanical failure, not by structural limits. It was a tragedy of human perception, where sensation overpowered instrumentation. A modern aircraft, fully functional, lost in less than a minute.
Learn more about aviation safety. Subscribe for more investigation videos.